Hello, everyone. Can I please ask everyone to switch off Wi-Fi in all of your devices for the duration of this talk? No? OK. I was just kidding, but half of you got instantly angry with me, instantly insulted that I would ask you to switch off Wi-Fi. If I asked you to stand up, you'd stand up. But if I asked you to switch off your Wi-Fi, you wouldn't do it. And it's because communication matters. It matters in business, it matters in personal life. And let me tell you a story of my recent trip to London a couple weeks ago. I booked my hotel and my flights. I always make sure that I have Wi-Fi on my plane, and I have Wi-Fi in the hotel. I spent 11 hours on the plane, and I landed. I went to the hotel. It was pretty late, and turns out Wi-Fi doesn't work. So, I'm a technical person. I can troubleshoot it myself. Well, it didn't work. I went to talk to receptionists. They couldn't help me either. They put me in contact with support. They couldn't get me online. So, no Wi-Fi. Well, it being middle of British summer, it was raining. And I had to get out and go and try to find McDonald's to get connected and send those emails. So I spent around 45 minutes walking around Heathrow Airport before I found McDonald's. And I connected, I did send my emails. And if I only knew when I walked into that hotel that Wi-Fi didn't work there that day, I would, at worst case, save an hour of my time. At best case, I would make different decisions about where I stay. And connectivity matters to us. You would be surprised what people would do nowadays to get connected. And we kind of know it best, because we are the largest Wi-Fi network in the world. We have 57 million hotspots in over 120 countries. And we are partnering with over 160 network providers. Some of you might have heard about in Europe, like Deutsche Telekom, Orange, BT, but also GoGo in-flight. We have millions of commercial hotspots, but equally, we have millions of non-commercial hotspots. Think about coffee shops and restaurants and bus stations, okay? And we don't always know how they are performing at any given time. We know we have them. Do they actually work? But also, as the industry leader in Wi-Fi space, we ask ourselves, how many access points are there in the world? Where are they? How are they doing? Are they secure? Should we be connecting you to them? We as people expect Wi-Fi to work, just like at home. It should always work. But equally, we all had bad Wi-Fi experience in our lives. We all went to a place where either we couldn't get connected at all, or we connected, but it didn't work as well as we would want it to work. Because in essence, Wi-Fi is unpredictable. And think of your favorite coffee shop. You go there at 8 a.m. on Monday, there's no way you're getting connected. But you come back at 11, and you get best experience ever. Because nowadays, anyone can just plug a router into a socket and become a Wi-Fi provider. Okay? Although we don't know what hardware they use, what is the bandwidth behind it, what is the configuration, is it safe? Because Wi-Fi has unregulated growth. It's not centralized. And therefore, any improvements to technology are difficult to roll out. But wouldn't that be amazing if there was someone or something that could tell you when you walk into the venue, into that hotel, if that hotspot is working or not today? If you wouldn't have to try through error. Isn't that a great problem to solve? Isn't that a great problem for big data? What is the current state of Wi-Fi in the world? And how can we not know? How can we not know nothing about something that is so critical to our lives? So to tame the Wild West of Wi-Fi, we have built iPass Smart Connect. It's an intelligent platform that gathers the data about hotspots all around the world. It gathers things like location, signal strength, frequency, all the connectivity-related data, like success rate by platform, by time. In short time, we have gathered over 21 billion scans in just a couple months. Over 500 million records helped us to discover over 100 million hotspots. But all that data is great to have, but now we need to make sense of that data. So we were looking for a platform that would help us to make sense of the data. Platform that can both process and analyze the data, and platform we can run machine learning on, platform that can support batch and stream, and most of all, platform that can scale. So quite naturally, we picked Spark, and we picked Databricks as our vendor. So, from concept to production. We started developing some of our algorithms in-house. We used to have small cluster, but due to some limitations, we could only use Spark 1.3 at the time. So all of our work was done in RDDs. And when we decided to go into production, we partnered with Databricks and deployed in AWS. So we took the opportunity, now that we had access to Spark 2.0, to rewrite most of our code and commit only to use high-level abstraction APIs. So we only used datasets and user-defined functions. We used window aggregations, and it was all to take full advantage of Tungsten and Catalyst. But not only today, but as they progress, we automatically get the benefit of them in the future without touching our code. So this is pretty much how our workflow looks like today. We send data to our data collectors, and they, through Kafka, they land in S3. The payload is in JSON. And I think Matej mentioned yesterday that it's a great use case for structured streaming to convert data from JSON to Parquet. And actually, we are using structured streaming to convert data from JSON to Parquet. Then we compact the data to optimize reading and ingestion, and we pass it along to our ranking algorithm. After data gets ranked, it's pushed to an edge service. That is the current state of Wi-Fi, of the Wi-Fi that we know of in the world. And that edge service can be talked to by any device or that runs our SDK, or any app that runs our SDK. So now, when you walk into that hotel, your phone can ask our service, should I connect here? Or if there's more than one access point, which access point should I connect to? And how should I connect to it? So what we're planning to do in the future. So we have a very interesting problem of moving hotspots. If you are moving and your hotspot isn't, we shouldn't even be trying to connect you. Because by the time you walk away before we can actually finish authentication and everything else. But if you and hotspots are moving together, then by all means, you should be connected to it. So we're working on algorithm to detect from the data, detect if that hotspot is mobile or it's stationary. But another example is a problem of changing SSIDs. Right here today in that venue, there was probably different SSID a couple days ago. Now it has been changed to Spark Summit. But the infrastructure behind it hasn't been changed. So we know this environment. We can notice that SSID has changed. And since the infrastructure is the same, we can probably still get you connected. Your phone wouldn't know that because it's based purely on SSID and MAC addresses. We can detect those changes and try to connect you. It's a good chance we can still connect you. And grouping. Grouping is an interesting problem to solve because you have a hotel with 100 rooms. You don't want to fail in 100 rooms and effectively get 100 rooms out of the footprint. You want to be able to group them as a logical venue and monitor them as a part of a group. Then take decisions based on thresholds. Like if 30% or 40% of that group is bad, we can blacklist the whole group and therefore stop advertising it, you won't be connecting to it. And we're using both graph frames and we're working with Databricks on at-scale implementation of DB-scan algorithms to solve that problem. Most of our code is written in Scala notebooks, and we try to write everything in a way where we can switch from batch to structured streaming. And especially our ranking job is ready to do so as soon as our Windows aggregations are supported in structured streaming. So what are the conclusions? Now we know. Do we know every single access point? Not yet, but we know majority of them. We know a lot about a lot of access points right now. And it's all thanks to Databricks, because we are a small team. And if we didn't have a platform that allows us to only write business logic and not worry about low-level implementation or building and maintaining infrastructure, we wouldn't be able to build what we've built. So we are a living proof that small companies can successfully run big data projects without breaking a bank. Thank you.